Yo, what's going on? It's Wednesday, February 10th. It's the Peer Rap Podcast. We're back here with you with a all new first ever album review. I'm here with Darneezy and MCK. I'm your one of your hosts as well. I go at I Hate Keb on my social media. You can check that out. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. First time doing the album review. We're just looking forward to sharing our thoughts about this project.
Facts, man. I've been waiting for this one. I know we were supposed to go live for this. I think last Saturday or the Saturday that just passed.
Yeah, things come up.
Last Saturday things. Yeah, things got a little switch up, but enough said. We here now.
Yeah,
we here now. The Peer Rap Podcast.
Yeah, if you didn't know, we're doing Benny the Butcher's recent album that came out back in October, actually. Burden of Proof.
16th.
Yes, that's his second studio album. We're doing an album review. We said it on episode 3 this previous Monday. We plan on doing album reviews for any album. It could be from 20 years ago. It could be next week's album that comes out this Friday. It can be last month album. It don't matter. But we plan on doing album reviews. We're gonna select some of our own that we want to choose, and then also have the listeners also throw in some recommendations for us to do as well. So make sure to let us know in in the comments, or tweet us or DM us on Instagram at Pure Rap Podcast. Is there anything you guys want to let everyone let the audience know?
Yeah, we want to let them know. We just let Benny the Butcher. For those who don't know, he's a New York rapper. He's collabing with this group called Griselda. West Side Gun and Conway the Machine. For those that didn't know, he signed to Rock Nation with Jay-Z and them.
Yeah, he signed a management deal with Rock Nation like back in August. So that's pretty dope. I don't know what the contract's it's fully like, but this is his first pretty much album under Rock Nation, so that's pretty big.
This is his second album, I believe.
Yeah,
this is
second studio album.
Yeah, honestly, I look at it as a debut because the first studio album they have is his Tana Talk 3, but that's a whole kind of installment, you know what I mean? I know the Plugs I Met is like an EP, which came out, I believe 2019. I listen to a lot of Benny the Butcher, so I'm excited for this. And he's from Buffalo, New York too, which you don't really hear a whole lot of big artists, coming from Buffalo.
Buffalo in general.
Just
Buffalo in general, yeah. What's there to do
what's there in Buffalo?
Yeah, they ain't really nothing
playing
to do
the snow.
out there. It's cold. They cold. They snowed up. They just back in the room in the studio, right in their rap shop.
And you got that Bills Mafia song. So he, the whole Griselda team been working with the Bills.
Yeah, that's dope to see.
That's fire too. You know what I mean? For them.
Yeah. So they got like a Bills anthem. Yeah, he got a Bills anthem.
Yeah, a whole anthem came out. I think it's on all platforms too. I didn't hear it, but I just seen it on Instagram.
I just seen a little snippet of it. But sounds like
that's
cheer for the Buffaloes. They might get.
Hey,
might be better.
This is the right time to have a song too. Have an anthem.
They had a great year.
Almost there.
They didn't make the Super Bowl, but they're a game away. So
one game, facts, man.
No, shout out to the Buffalo Bills real quick, and shout out to Benny the Butcher. So I know this was Brian's choice. He called first dibs on the album review. So maybe Darnell, or maybe one of our audience can choose next week. If we do next week, or maybe 2 weeks from now, we haven't really set a schedule when we're gonna do album reviews. It's just when it comes up, it comes up. But you can always make sure to check out the Peer Rap Podcast every episode on Monday.
Y'all gotta get that rock paper scissors in.
We'll be going live every Monday. Yeah, we'll work on the rock paper scissors and figure out a date. Yeah. But yeah, every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific, we plan on going live. We went a little bit early on this previous Monday. We had planned. Well, I had planned, so I had to get this out of the way real quick. But so you guys ready to go and hop into this album review?
Yeah, one last thing. This album is entirely produced by Hit Boy, who's been on like a tear through 2020. Like he's been going crazy. He did Big Sean's album, Nas album, which is like the crown achievement for any producer to do a whole entire Nas album.
Yeah,
He
that's
did. He even did. I know beats for Conway too. Um, so he's pretty in tune with the whole Griselda team. And yeah, the album for Big Sean was Detroit too. So that's a big one. And
yeah.
even now, I guess he's about to make I know he did a whole nother thing with that, was it Judas and the Black Messiah or something like that that's coming out. Like I don't know
This
if he did the
Friday,
whole
right?
thing. Yeah, I don't know if he did the whole thing, but I know he did the Nas, Jay-Z, and Nipsey have a joint coming out. I think that's produced by him too. So
Yeah. People are going buzzing for that. We can't
yeah,
wait for Nipsey and Jay-Z to be on the song together. Can't wait
yeah,
to hear
that's
that one.
but
It's gonna be crazy. But
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. Rest in peace to Nipsey.
yeah, facts. And shout out to Hit Boy, man. He's been going crazy, and he's going in 2021 already. Right
yeah,
off the bat. So
21 going off the bat. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Big Sean and just the Nas project as a collab. So he's doing. It sounds like he's doing a lot of collab,
yeah,
tapes with different artists. And now, in this one, it sounds perfect. But can't wait to get into the review.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ready when you guys are, man.
Yeah. So if you're not aware, we're doing Benny the Butcher's recent album that came out this past October of 2020, called Burden of Proof. This is our Pure Rap Podcast first album review. So MCK selected the first one. Before we
Yes,
get into
sir.
it, we got some comments. Fly Guy Pieces, I am here.
Hey,
So
shout out my guy FG.
thank you for tuning
FG in the cut.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah. Go ahead, check his music out.
facts, man.
FG be rapping, man. Liking his records. Go shout him out.
Go check that out.
Go check
We're
him
gonna
out.
have to review. We're gonna have him on the show too for sure, man.
Yeah, we plan on having guests in the future, so feel free if you ever want to be a guest, let us know and we'll talk that over. But yeah, you guys ready for the album review?
Yep.
Yeah. We ready.
And I know Brian's been waiting all week, man. He's been hyped up.
We
for this.
ready. We ready.
Like,
It's Hit
Doing
Boy.
hype, man.
Hit Boy. Where's the hypeness in this,
like
man?
Darnell,
Come on
get
in.
the fuck off work and just get this fucking album review done. So man,
I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, long story short, we're here now. We're ready. We're ready
this
for
was
that.
supposed to be done Saturday, and that now we're doing it Wednesday. So it's been long
This man,
awaited.
this man said,
Long-awaited.
I gotta go hiking. Hike. What you mean hike?
Wow.
And Darnell pushed us back because he went for a hike. So
This man,
you can thank Darnell for the postponement.
this man was
Yeah,
climbing
yeah.
mountains. Man. This man had
Yeah,
to hold that.
I got the blame for that. That's all right. But at
That's
the
why you
same
see that cut.
He took that time hiking to check out the album, so I can't blame him.
That's why you see his cut like that. Man, this man was over here training on the mountains, man.
in the mountains, man.
Yeah, the album got him motivated.
This man one haircut away from being a monk, man. Hey, better look like Krillin.
But yeah, let's get into the album though.
No,
yeah,
this
the first track. We get into the album though. The first track was, hence the album name, "Burden of Proof," and that's the intro track. And how you feel about that, Brian? How you rocking with this first joint?
You want me to start it off?
I'll let you start it off since this is the album you chose.
Now I listened to a lot of Benny the Butcher, but like this album, I don't know, like it felt different. I felt like he had a lot to prove. Because especially like he started off the song saying last year was about branding, this year about expanding, and that's literally how it feels, especially with this intro, bro. That's honestly like probably one of the best intros I've heard on an album.
Yeah, I really fucked with the intro too.
Like, and the beat gave me that, and it felt like I don't know if he was like if he just turned it up a level, because like I said, I listened to a lot of Benny the Butcher, but this just felt different. I don't know if it was the Rock Nation influence or even having a Hit Boy produce it, or it just had a lot to get off, you know what I mean? But it gave me kind of a Just Blaze, the beat gave me that Just Blaze kind of vibe. Like I felt like if y'all heard his name in the beginning, I would have been like, oh yeah, that's I don't know if y'all, you know what I mean? The beat was crazy, man.
I like the transition that it had in the beginning. I thought that was a pretty good transition.
Yeah, it slowed up at first and then it just sped up out of nowhere. It's just like he said, "Oh yeah, the bitch is coming." Oh,
Yeah.
And he started going in on his bars.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Which is
okay.
he
Which is kind of
man.
scaring me, man. Like,
Yeah, I was like, oh snap! Like
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
why it
Bro.
dropped in October. It was in the. It gave me that Halloween vibe.
Yeah.
Like,
that
the witch is
fall
coming.
cold vibes.
Yeah, nah, bro. He like just turned it up a level too. And same thing with Hit Boy. Like that beat was crazy.
Yeah, Hit Boy was in his
Yeah, he
bag.
definitely gave me a 1-for-1 for that. I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
just the way that
right off the bat,
beat
like,
was rocking.
and that's one thing too
First
about those
10
intros,
seconds.
especially back in the days. You know, when you heard that crazy intro, you knew the album was like, all right, this album's about to.
Yeah, it's gonna be
hot.
top tier. It's gonna be top tier.
Yeah,
That
you start
intro
off
is
like
like
that.
if you're setting the tone, like I know how the end of the album is gonna go through.
And speaking of
Yeah.
starting off with some hot shit, I felt like in a lot of the songs in general, I felt like he had some like lines that just like were like dope starting off each verse, like for each song in this album.
Yeah,
I feel like he came off with some dope shit in each verse, like not just this track, but like in each track, you know.
no, I 100% agree. Yeah. If you want to put that comment up, sorry, I seen it.
That's all
Yeah,
good.
this is a must, bro. And FG, I know you're gonna mess with it, bro. Especially because like I know me and FG, we talk a lot like about battle rap and things like that. So that grittiness, bro. Some of those lines about to give you that
grittiest
face.
bars.
The
Yeah,
whole
it's
song
like
you're about to be like, God, he just said that. Like,
yeah, it's something that you gotta replay it back and forth,
yeah, for sure,
just to catch every vicious, you know.
And he also had Pain in the Ass, which is the dude that used to do the guy he did the outro for this track, which is the dude that Hispanic dude that used to do the Jay-Z like intros and outros and like for Free Ray and back in the old days where like with Rock Nation. Okay, I'm reloaded. Yeah, you know, I know you heard
I'm reloaded. Yeah.
That's
that dude. Yeah, that dude.
Yeah, that's how you know he had the Rock Nation. You know, that alone, like I feel like made it feel like a whole rock vibe. It gave it that New York feeling, you know what I mean? That like for a lot of people who listened to that growing up, you know what I mean? I feel like that's what it gave off. I wrote what he said at the beginning. I didn't do this for every song, but for this one I had to. He said, I was young in my prison phases. How you know you really gangster? Jail cells where I learned decision making. 50 grand in the refrigerator, living room, killers waiting, plastic on the floor like we renovating. This not for kids, so you gotta excuse it. Y'all don't spend enough on guns, but a lot with the jeweler. I spent a bunch on guns and a lot with the jeweler. Then bought a crib for my
written down.
yeah, then gave a crib for my bitch and a block to my shooters. Who you know told Glocks and sold rocks to abusers. That they're wrecking breaking numbers, broke locks for the movement. That was me with no pops. My coke spots was exclusive. Walk around with this froze watch because no ops want to do it. Bro, when he ended that song like that, I had to pause and just I was like, nah.
Whoa. He's like, hold up, my kid. Yeah, you gotta excuse it. Excuse it.
Yeah,
Just
I had to drop a ball.
Just blaze. Woo.
Yeah,
Whoa, fire.
God damn.
He was talking spicy in that, man.
Yeah, one of the lines I had was like, I know how it feel when you don't like that. You did it different because they dick right and trends just like the niggas you mimic. Like,
yeah,
so
bro.
they was just like, we just saying like, damn, like some people just gonna be jealous of you, anger towards you, throughout the whole song and just like,
especially if you're not following a certain movement, like you just being yourself, bro. Like I appreciate him for his authenticity, bro. Because
Brian had the same shit I put down.
Oh yeah, you wrote that too. Yeah, bro.
The same type of line through it. I mean, this is just
exactly,
like
man.
the intro was just kind of like a good life lessons. Excuse me, life lessons. Easily like influenced by the mind because it's like he just like kind of give you a great motivation towards like the album like itself, like the way he's
a lot of what he
it.
was talking about. Yeah,
He was just like just saying the real stuff. He's just being strict with
and
it.
He was also just like that last line, like walk around with this froze watch because no ops want to do it. Like that's like, you know what I mean? Like I'm that, like I'm that.
He's like I'm that dude.
Guy,
yeah. Like I'm that guy for real.
So
like
so that's
nobody gonna stop me. My wrist froze.
Yeah, he was talking, bro.
Yeah, fire beat from Hit Boy.
Yeah, it was a dope intro for sure.
Yeah, dope beat.
Well, we can get into the next track. It was track 2. He had a feature on that one too. Where would I go?
Would I go?
Bruh.
Where would I go?
How are y'all feeling that joint with Rick Ross? I'll let you start, Brian.
Man, honestly, you can't go wrong with the Rick Ross feature, bro. Like I feel like a lot of people have Ross features. Pusha T actually said it on they asked him about like who's one of the main people you like getting a feature for on your album, and he said, Rick Ross, because he's consistent. He gives it to you, like when you send it, he'll send it right back, and and the verse is gonna be crazy. And that's how I felt with this track. And I felt like the beat was catered to him, if I'm not mistaken. Like it felt like this song could have been on a Rick
Yeah.
Ross album,
It
right?
felt like a Rick Ross type track, like that.
Yeah,
vibe.
It's 100% felt like a Rick Ross track, bro.
yeah, just the way soulfulness it sound, like just
Yeah,
real soulful.
and I mean he basically had like besides Benny's first verse, like the whole song felt like it was Rick Ross. And he did it justice. Like I said, I felt like Hit Boy did a good job making that beat specifically for a guy like Rick Ross. And then Benny could do his thing. I know Rick Ross had a line. He said, "My kids in the mansion, they got 100 rooms playing hide and seek for weeks." So I was like, Rick Ross be making you feel like, damn, I gotta get my money up now. Like
I was gonna write that down, but I decided not to.
yeah, bro. I was like,
Yeah.
man, they're playing hide and seek for weeks. Like
I mean, like, dang, how many rooms and like, yeah, like just seeing his fortress house.
Well, didn't a report come out recently saying that Rick Ross like charges like $1 million or something like that for people to like record at his home?
yeah, and he said for movies, like he said, like the one he been doing like 75
Yes.
million deals for people to do, like he did Coming to America too. Like he rented out the house for that.
Rented out for a
So
section
he's
of
making
that.
money,
He's making
like,
money just off his home.
estate.
His home is making him money. Shit.
His estate,
Yeah,
bro.
he's
The Rick
sleeping
Ross
in
estate, that man's making money. But like yeah, I like Rick Ross features too, and I'm a big fan of Rick Ross, bro. So that's what you can't go wrong with this with him on this. And yeah, I know he wants to see everyone win too, you know what I mean, the way he be rapping. But Benny the Butcher had a line too in his verse that I liked. He said, "They tell me be humble, they think I'm flossy. Shit, I probably am. I got this out the concrete." And I like that line because it's like, he worked hard to get where he's at. So, if he's flexing a little bit here and there, it's just shit. Like, I mean, it's hard to be humble when you didn't have it,
Yeah, no, it's definitely hard to be humble. Like when you don't have something, and when you finally get it, you just kind of like, like
it's
you
like
really
you got
got
it
it.
now.
Like
I'm trying
you got
to
it now.
show this
You worked
off.
your way up. Yeah,
Yeah,
you just
of course,
showing.
they're gonna
You
be
were like,
humble, but at the same time, like, shoot, let
Yeah.
me show off this watch. Let me show off these chains real quick. Just show you why. Like, I worked to get this. So
Yeah,
I like that line.
it was a dope track, dope production. Starting off the album, your second track with Rick Ross, someone as big as Rick Ross in the in the rap game. It was also great production by Hit Boy. It was sampled by a track called "Where Would I Go," which is the title of this track as well. It was sampled by a group called Paradise. I guess it came out in 1983. So I thought that was a dope sample to have. And
Thanks for writing down the samples too, because that's one thing I totally forgot to. I want to look up all the samples for the for it, so I'm happy you wrote them. So that's good.
You had to come prepared, man.
Yeah, that sounds.
Don't sleep on the samples.
Yeah, and the show, Hit Boy is a great producer when it comes to samples too, man. I feel like this album really showcased that a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he turned it up.
I like the way the loop is throughout the track like that.
Yeah,
just staring at. I mean, what kind of got me is like, what he first said in the first verse was like, he jumped in the game feet first, and I paid for my actions. Hospital stays laid up related to asthma. So basically, he was just talking about how he was dealing with asthma. He was in and out of the hospital. That's something I can relate to. I mean, I had asthma. I don't know if you guys have asthma. I don't have it as bad. I mean, I don't have to go, something crazy. But I mean, if I get sick or something like crazy or coughing, then I have to use my inhaler. But sometimes you just gotta watch out for your mental health, and you gotta really take care of yourself, especially during this COVID time. So I think he's saying that just give it a little outlet for people that really need to hear that and stay safe.
Benny style is the one you gotta experience to it. Yeah. Now that's facts, man, because he's
That's what
talking
Darnell
different.
came in. That's what Darnell was saying with his relation with asthma.
Not
That's how he was feeling.
You gotta relate to, yeah.
yeah, but it's facts though, man. Like, cause like, man, that's why, and I think that's why a lot of people, you gotta, you either gonna relate on a certain base of what he's talking about, but overall, bro, that's why he shares his experience, so we hear what he's saying and what he's talking about, because that's the type of lifestyle where it's like, man, like a lot of people don't either make it out, you go to prison, you die at a young age.
Product of the environment.
Yeah, I know Benny's talked about, he jail cells like in the other song, he's been locked up, and he's older too, he's like in his 30s.
Yeah, he's an older cat.
The whole
Yeah,
Griselda
he's an
team is
older dude.
like older, so this also shows too. It's like, don't give up on your dream. Just keep pushing,
And
keep moving.
I
So I
guess
respect
every
that.
inspiring, artist or just anything you want to do, doesn't, you don't have to, just because someone's a step ahead of you, don't mean you gotta, you're
Yeah.
behind. Everything takes time, and your time will come.
Yeah, exactly. Jay-Z
Yeah.
too, man. It also gives it that recognition where it's like Jay-Z, came in the game late as an older man. So sometimes that might be even better. You're a lot more mature at that age. Can move different, than if you were 18, coming in. So
Yeah, you still learning, you still processing the new things, and you still trying to learn stuff as you go on. So I
yeah,
mean, yeah, people get rich young, people get rich old. I mean, it all comes and goes, it's all about perfect timing.
Yeah. So shout out Rick Ross. Yeah, that was a dope
Yeah.
track. Second track
Yeah,
of the
shout out
album.
Rick Ross. Yeah, this track is really made for him. Yeah, it was a great verse too. It wasn't too over the wall, but I mean, it was pretty
Yeah.
good though.
Yeah, we can get into the third track. He didn't have a feature on that. It was a Sly Green. I wanted to say a quote that I like that he actually, for what I remember, I think he started off in his verse with this too. He's like, I'm a Christian Dior shirt rocker, 2 Glock wearer. Only
Yeah.
real I would have tried in Tupac era.
2
I thought that was a dope line because it don't sound like the shit you hear these days. It sounds something like back you'd hear in the 90s to early 2000s hip hop. It don't sound like the 2000 this century's this decade's hip hop.
Yeah, that was one of those songs that gave you that stank face too. That especially when he said the only rapper that would have thrived in the Tupac era, I was like, okay,
Yeah,
damn.
Drug Money Shoebox era. Like, dang, back
Yeah,
in the
he was.
day where they
That's what I'm
weren't
saying, bro.
gold.
Like this album really made you be like, damn, bro. Like this man's talking, bro. Like especially because, like you said, you don't hear this. Like, you know what I mean? You don't hear it. I mean, I listen to a lot of artists like in that element myself. But this just, like I said, this felt different, bro. Like you can't really, I can say it, but I know for a lot of people, if they listen to a lot of Benny the Butcher, I feel like they will say the same thing. This album just felt different, bro. Like he elevated.
It gave you kind of that old school feel, and then that new school sound that just
I think
with
because
Hit
he
Boy.
has it now. He has that. The work that they put in, it showed through this album. I think that's what it is. He's got that success now, but at the same time, like he said in the first song, now this year's about expanding. So now I feel like this whole album, that's how it feels. I wrote that down too. And also I felt like, yeah, he was in his bag for this, but it's funny because he's making money because he talked about Christian Dior about like damn like 3 times in this song.
Christian Dior, we in the stores and stores. He probably thinking about Pop Smoke at the same time when he wrote that. He's like, dang.
They all buying Christian Dior. He said Christian Dior or short rocker or something like that. So I know he was another line he said that stood out to me too. He said, for a bid in a couple of shootouts, I look great. And that line's dope too. And that's one of those, that's just a street line. He's been in shootouts. He did a bid in jail. So it's like, he did all that, and then look at me now. You know what I mean? So
he's rapping what he's been.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he
rapping what he went
through.
Actually
rapping what he actually is going through and what he actually did. Like he ain't rapping no phony tale, no folk tale. It's like real stuff that he really did.
I mean, yeah, and that just goes off of the name of the album. It's like Burden of Proof. You know what I mean? Like it's just showing the facts. You know what I mean? He's showing us all of it. He also said, niggas want the formula. Griselda's the factory. and that was one too. Like, they showed, the work shows for itself, and the formula worked, and they're here now, and Griselda's one of the biggest, names as of right now in hip hop. So like they're pretty much holding it down.
Yeah, shout out Griselda real
They
quick.
holding it down from that. Yeah.
On
This
the
was
beat. The beat
There's
was one of the
another
best
fire beat. Yeah,
on
Hit
the
Boy did
album.
his thing. It's another fire, soul food sound, like the way it
Yeah.
goes, and
little funk.
Yeah.
little funk drop. It still went up.
Yeah, it was good production. We can get into the next track though, track 4, that also had great production. Which
Oh yeah, this is my
Fight
favorite.
featuring, Freddie Gibbs, Gangsta Gibbs, and this was also a sample track. It was by Florida Scott. Love Me, Love Me, Love Me, or Leave Me, Leave Me, Leave Me was the track. It was a 1974 track. That's over 40 years ago.
That was digging through the crates, man.
You think they're crazy for that old, shit that he wasn't even around for,
That's how it is for production though. You find things that you
Yeah,
don't
you
even know about. Like,
man, you gonna
You
be
haven't even seen
finding
it.
them old records.
no one has a better ear than a hip hop producer, in my opinion.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
they're digging through archives like no tomorrow. They're just trying to see what
Gotta find that
what
next
fits that
sample.
next thing to
But,
sample.
My favorite line though was actually not from Benny. It was actually from Freddie Gibbs.
Freddie Gibbs.
It was,
His
he
line.
said hoes get fucked and sent home early, just like the Clippers. And
I wrote that down too.
Yeah.
I'm a Laker fan,
Everybody had to get that.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
That's messed up, man, for the Clippers, man.
Yeah,
He didn't have to do that, man.
He
Like,
did. He did.
funny line.
come on, Kawhi, he crying somewhere, man, with that.
Yeah, when he heard that line, he's like, "Damn, y'all." Yeah.
He laughing somewhere going to that verse like, oh man, he had to play me like that and put OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Like that's just disrespectful. I mean, shout out
Yeah.
to
And the hook too. He did his thing on the hook, man.
Yeah, the hook.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
Trips that work trips with that work. My baby made it back. Like, is you gonna cry in that Toyota or this Maybach? Like, you better get this work done so we can. I'm trying to get this money,
Maybach.
like you still I'm not trying to be in that Toyota, bro. So yeah. So this song was funny. I also think, just like the Rick Ross feature, this beat was catered to Freddie Gibbs as well.
Yeah.
I kind of seen there was a pattern with the features on this track. I mean, with the features on this album, that a lot of the production, like when features were catered to those artists, and this also shows Benny's versatility, that he could do it all, and still go crazy. Because Benny's verse actually had. Wait, one more thing to go about the Freddie Gibbs. He said, "Buy some ugly white girl. When I whipped it, it's Miss Universe." I was like, bro, that's man, bro. Those coke raps, bro. The coke lines, bro. They
Yeah.
the way they metaphor it, it's just like crazy the way they put it all together.
Said, coke rap is undefeated, bro. I don't know how they still come up with these lines that like this.
How they flip the words around and still make it sound like they still talking about coke. They still about the drug.
Buy some ugly white girl. When I whipped it, it's Miss Universe. Like, damn, that's a good line, bro. And then Benny the Butcher said, which is something that, man, y'all know the type of stuff I write. And this one was dope. He said, "What's a stage with no mic and no voice of a poet? What's more important, the flower or the soil that grows it?"
Grow it, yeah. That was I wrote that down too.
Yeah, and they said, "Yeah, it's cool, but run rule, don't get caught in the moment, or it's back to swinging ratchets and warming up water." Like that, man.
Yeah, it's like one of them lines, like, whoa, like really, what's more important,
flower, the soil roses, like, man.
Choices is choices is hard at the same. Life is full of choices, and it's definitely hard. Which more is important?
People that you keep around you. You know what I mean, the same thing. What's a stage with no mic and no voice of a poet? Like this, if you gotta have all of it. You know what I mean? And same thing. It's like, don't if you don't get kind of moment, you could get sent right back. If you're acting up or and letting this fame get to you, so you're right back to where you were in the beginning, swinging ratchets and warming the water. It's like, I think he has a good sense of where he is now. You know what I mean? Like, not to get back to that, because he lived his whole damn life. And I mean, he's in his 30s. Shit. You know, like,
up and coming rappers, he has and that's the thing about especially these older artists that come out older. You have years worth of content to spit compared to somebody who's 18 who barely lived life compared to someone like you say Benny who's in his 30s, and you're putting out an album. You have whole you have a bunch of shit you can say on the album because of the 30 years you've lived compared to someone that's 18.
Yeah, he's got experience, man. Like he's got experience like no other. Like it shows, man. But yeah, that's one of those tracks, man. That great feature too, having Freddie Gibbs on there. So
this is
but that was track number 4.
One of my favorite songs on here too. Yeah, this is like
sure. And the track number 5 was actually one of my favorites off the album, which is called Famous. And that was
100%.
also a sampled track too called Lovebirds by the Dramatics, which was a 1979 joint. Tit Boys digging through them crates, another sample from the 70s. And had one of those songs had an outro skit at the end as well.
I asked my mom about all these songs that you just said about from the 70s. I know she'll know them all too. She'll probably I know 100%.
She gonna know about some of these.
You guys roller skating to the song, like
yeah,
the roller rink,
the roller skates, the roller rink,
the skate rink, again. Yeah, but my favorite line off this one was "What's fame to I can't say the word like me. You got to think because I'm from the cocaine era. We extinct. We was talking about that. Them coke raps. It's also like I cover boozy bitch, but a project I put a project bitch in a mink. She loves street, so we gonna fuck the first day we link. I'm like,
yeah. Okay. I'm like, that's bold. That's bold. Hey, the first time we meet, we smashing already.
Yeah.
Okay, I get down to that.
I wrote that line down too. The cocaine era, we extinct. I wrote that one down. And yeah, that hook, man, that hook was crazy. It's like when he said, 3 rollies, 2 cribs, 6 figures, and I still don't feel famous.
Yeah.
The day I got my first brick, the only time a nigga really felt famous. Yeah, bro. Like, and before that, he also said, talking about one. Wait, let me see. Where was it? I think right before that, he just said, "I never thought I'd make it out the hood, and I don't feel how I thought it should." Like, this was one of those songs too, where like, yeah, he was saying stuff about like that, like he was saying like the whole get the bitch in a mink, whatever. But like, this was actually a deep track, like overall, about the money, about the fame, money, wanting money over the fame. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably feel that way, rather just have the money and fame, because a lot more comes with the fame.
Yeah, basically, money doesn't buy happiness all the time for all these.
Sometimes the price of fame costs too much.
Yeah, the price exactly. And then he also had another line too. He said, "I'm just a dealer to the judge and a sinner to the pope." That was one of those lines too, where going back to what I said in the other one, he knows where it comes from, because it's like that's literally if something happened to him right now, bruh, the judge is gonna look at him as that dealer from back in the projects,
back in the day.
And in the eyes of the Pope, if you showed him everything that he did, you know what I mean, it'd be like, damn, this man was sinning like crazy.
Yeah.
But that was a dope line in my opinion. And the beat overall, bro.
I thought I really fucked with that beat.
This was one of those beats
with sample.
Yeah, this is one of those beats. So you could and this is to me what makes super producers and like what makes them live on is a beat that you could listen to without no rapper rapping on it. Like I feel like if I just heard this beat alone,
like you're just vibing to the instrumental,
it already has.
I'll just play it.
Easy. A beat that has a feel to it is, and Darnell knows, man. Like we've been on Hit Boy, like HS87, like we've been on
way back. HS87,
yeah, like I've been, so I've been on Hit Boy for a long time with Chasing Cash,
2013 and shit.
Yeah, 2013, and then now it's like shoot. What was it,
Surf Club? Yeah. So it's just good to see Hit Boy
talking about it
becoming this this legend, like
finally coming up.
Yeah, it's good to see, man. Just being a long time fan. So
this iconic producer.
Yeah,
seeing this iconic producer, producing for like all the big names, especially Nas right now, and doing Benny the Butcher and a few others and Big Sean. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, he just really pretty much.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Hit Boy, bro, like seeing this 2020, like you just gotta like, man, just give him a round of applause for that, man. Cause and that famous song, that might be damn near top 3 on the album. It might be my favorite one.
It's one of my faves.
It might be your favorite.
That beat,
That's my
it's
favorite.
crazy.
Yeah, speaking of faves, we can get into the next track. The song actually kind of grew on me the more I listened to it, which was "Timeless" featuring
Love this
Lil Wayne
song.
and Sean. I felt like Benny, Wayne, and Sean all had dope verses. In my opinion,
Yeah.
I felt like they all went in. One of my favorite lines was actually from Big Sean. Surprisingly, just knowing that I'm not really a huge Big Sean fan because he can be corny at times.
Yeah, you
He's
saying
like,
some stuff on there.
He's like, honestly, I'm probably gonna be booked till I'm on the next chapter. Signed a slave deal, now up owning my masters. I thought that was a dope line. Just knowing how the game works, people be signing slave deals and getting fucked out their money, signing 360s and shit.
360
And I thought that
deals.
and then the line before that, probably gonna be booked. Books and chapter. They have chapters, so I thought that the wordplay was dope with that too. But
Yeah, bro.
I feel like all of them, from Lil Wayne to Benny the Butcher and Big Sean, I felt like they all had dope verses, and it was a dope instrumental as well by Hit Boy.
I'm actually gonna go on the lines of that because surprisingly, same way y'all know how I felt about Big Sean too, but I actually think he had the best verse on the song, and that's coming from me. Like,
over Lil Wayne. That's crazy.
Yes.
Over Weezy.
Yeah, I 100% believe, because Lil Wayne wrote the beat. Don't get me wrong, he wrote the beat perfectly. This sounded like and Lil Wayne kills features like this. And same thing, the beat I felt like was catered to Lil Wayne and Big Sean, right? Like it sounded like something they will for sure be on, especially Lil Wayne. But Big Sean, bro, like, because I wrote the rest of what Caleb just said. So when it says signed a slave deal, now a nigga up owning my masters, watch me turn good into great. It's first steps to everything, even taking a leap of faith. Swear it's labels that's up B's that owe me M's. To them, that shit is like G's. Niggas ain't G's. Greed is a disease. So apparently that's actually a shot at Def Jam and good music. Because he's owed like over like 3 million from good music. So I know that whole watch me turn good into great, like, you know what I mean? He's trying to get, trying to get his masters back from, I don't know if he has it now, but I know Kanye was supposed to give him like 50% of the masters. He's owed a lot of money. So that was definitely shot to Def Jam. But just what he was saying, I think he had the realest verse as far as what he was saying in it. So shout out to Big Sean, bro. Yeah, and I said this on the first episode. I feel like listening to Detroit 2, Big Sean is getting more mature as an artist. He's been saying a lot. He's talking different. So I don't know, man. Maybe that next album.
Yeah, try to be called corny on Twitter, man.
Yeah, that quarantine, it just kind of got a different mindset. People just kind of got locked in, just changed their mind. This song. Yeah, money don't change the people around quicker than you. People get buzzed up and they think, oh, the money's gonna change them. But it's not really gonna change certain people, but it's just very timeless.
Yeah, and the beat was crazy too, man. This is one of my favorite beats.
I want to say that I like the beat. When they're spitting their last couple bars, it change. You see in each verse the beat change.
Yeah,
I thought that was dope. To Hit Boy did another dope production on this shit.
Yeah, and I also liked how they started each song with like who they do it for. You know what I mean? He said like, I do it for like they each started off the song with that.
I do it for suffering children checks from government buildings.
Yeah, like they all started off. They do it for, and that to me that was dope for a good concept, especially for Timeless. Because at the end of the day, it's like they kind of talked about they talked about all that. I'm trying to see exactly what I wrote down, but I think just that talking about what they kind of went through a little bit on the verses, who they do it for. Especially in Big Sean, vintage. Yeah, Lil Wayne was vintage on that track, but you could tell with this track, it started off kind of like them talking about who they do it for, then a little bit of what they went through, and then like now I'm here, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna remain timeless. I know Lil Wayne said like, chop the hands off the clock, I'm timeless. Like, that was a dope line to me too. So this is one of those songs, man. This is a dope one for sure.
Yeah, track.
Another
let me say one more thing. I actually forgot I wrote this down. I would like to see a New York remix to this track. I could see like Jadakiss, Cameron, Styles P, Dave East. I could see people like this on this beat. So if that happened, I'll be dope to see the remix to this.
I can
So.
see that.
Fire. I can see that. Definitely see that.
Yeah,
But we
that'd be
got
crazy.
track 7 though. Track 7 was no feature on it. It was called New Streets, and that was also a sample track by a track called Independence by In the Valley of My World, which was another 1973. Came out in 1973, so another 1970s sample. I
Went
thought
to
it
the
had
70s.
Hit Boys looking through them 70s catalogs.
I went back in time for this.
Yeah, I thought another dope line by Benny the Butcher was like,
Going back.
it's gonna be hard to convince my kids, but honestly, losses taught me more than my wins did, and I felt that shit because you can win, but like the losses you take, you learn more from it.
Yeah,
In my opinion, you learn more from your losses than your
Yeah,
wins.
yeah.
And we all, you're always gonna
Definitely
lose.
true.
You're gonna fail more than you ever win. So just knowing, you pick your head back up after you fail, knowing what you gotta do to improve or do better, and I felt that line by from Benny right there.
yeah. He also said losses turn into pain, then they become advantages. So exactly what you were saying.
Yeah.
That's some good lines right there, man. Just good writing.
Yeah, it was good writing. I had
feeling
a I had a verse too. It was like it's rubbing me the wrong way when these rappers speak comfortably about street life. It seemed like they only giving y'all luxuries. Like I mean,
Yeah,
how they
I
gonna
wrote
talk
that
about
too.
stuff that they ain't really? Yeah, it's just like their folktale. They talking about stuff they ain't never did before.
Yeah,
Selling keys, doing prison time. Ain't got no prison stories. Ain't never did no time, and they acting like
yeah.
you know.
But like to go on with that too. Yeah, I think I wrote the rest of that about street life. It seems like they're only giving y'all luxuries. I sat on work when I was positive it would sell. This game come with way more consequences than jail. Bittersweet when you win it deep. So like that one's dope because like you said, man, like they only sometimes give us one side of the story, you know what I mean? It's just that success of what they got. Like they don't talk about what really be like, what really goes on, especially in the street life. Like he said, I sat on work when I was positive it would sell. Like he was really deep in the street life, you know what I mean? Thinking this was happening.
that shit.
Wasn't making money off this. Like so he's being vulnerable, showing us his truth to what really, the street life is like instead of people just I shot this and that. It's like, bro, like what about the rest?
It's telling us half the story and the story and not adding up to what it's
and
supposed to
it
be
doesn't
saying.
add up to what people really be going through. So I respect him for that. Yeah, I think it was just a lot of realness and honesty in this track.
Track for sure. If you actually listen, behind the lyrics and listen to it for what it is.
Yeah. I think let me see. Yeah, I think he was saying a lot of stuff that people should keep in mind, especially that things don't come easy. Like I said, there's way more to the streets than just jail. I forgot I wrote this down too. Like it's also like putting yourself at risk, the losses, what you put your family through. Not everyone makes it. You got people that 15 that you probably grew up with that end up getting shot or something, passed away. So having close friends that it's just not the rap life, like think that luxuries that they're showing, it's just not that simple. That's not how it is. So, sometimes we listen to these songs, oh, I'm gonna rap and get into that. But it's like, man, there's so much more to than just jail and like, shout out to Benny for that. That's what I got from that track, honestly.
Yeah, it was a dope track. We can get into track 8 though. If you don't know, there's 12 tracks to this project, so we're almost to the final quarter of it. But yeah, track 8 was called, if my computer can speed up, it was called Over the Limit, and that was featuring Dom Kennedy, which I thought was a dope feature. Got one guy from the West Coast, another guy on the East Coast. I think they had Dom Kennedy on the chorus. It was also a sample as well, but it was Port Rich Volume 4 by Soul Surplus, and I guess that came out 2018. But I never heard of that. Have y'all heard of that track before?
Say it one more time.
It was called Port Rich Volume 4 by Soul Surplus. I guess it came out 2018. I never heard of it.
Soul Surplus. That sounds familiar. Nah, I haven't heard it.
Nah, I didn't hear that one. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I guess that was the sample. I never heard of it. But yeah,
Dang,
Dom Kennedy on the Dom Kennedy on the hook. Shout Dom Kennedy. Shout the West Coast, because that's where me and Darnell reside.
West
And
Coast.
where
West
Brian's from, but he's currently in the North Pole. So
Yeah, I have to put on the SD hat for.
yeah, for this episode.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
yeah, one of my favorite lines. It was just something small. It was like some of my best verses. I'm just talking to myself.
yeah.
See, this is why I love you, Caleb, because I wrote the same thing, man. And
I was thinking the
that's
same
exactly
thing though.
how
Just the way
I
he was
write
talking.
my music, man. I write exactly like that. So when I heard that line, I was like, "That's the most relatable thing I've ever heard."
Man,
Thinking the same
facts, man.
thing.
sometimes people aren't. You get different lives. Only you gon'
Most of the music's coming from you. It's coming from
Yeah.
your, from
what
your
you're
experience.
relating to. I mean, other people can relate to it too, but like at the end of the day, you're in your own shoes. No one's in your shoes.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you're the only one that's going to tell your story. Nobody's going to tell your story
Yeah,
for
no
you.
one can tell it for you. Shit, unless you got a autobiography later on when you.
Yeah, they might tell it for
Hey,
you.
get that big, man. You got people writing about you.
yeah, until
Yeah.
you get to that point. But
Nah, I
all
mean,
right,
yeah.
how do you feel about this, Darnell?
I
know you.
mean, I like Don Kennedy's. I like the song. I don't like Don Kennedy's hook. I didn't like the hook. I didn't like the hook from him. But his verse was fine. Just the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. The beat was the beat is fine. It's definitely soulful. Like just like the Hit Boy, he did his thing, front to back, through this whole thing. It's really soulful the way it sounds. Benny's just again, he's just going in deep and he's doing a lot of grieving through this. I mean, he lost his brother through the streets, and he's going through his life, and he bringing those different topics out, and he's just speaking from his feelings, stuff that made him rich, he's going through this. But yeah, good track, but not a good hook from Don Kennedy.
Yeah, I agree. This was the only song I had criticism for. I'm not a fan of that Dom Kennedy feature at all. And I love Dom Kennedy, you know what I mean? But this just wasn't it. Like,
I thought it was a weird combo when I saw that too. I didn't expect Dom Kennedy on something weird.
Yeah, and even the beat to me was
it was kind of different.
Yeah, even the beat to me was cool, but there was some background like effect like that he used on the beat. I can't really. I would have to listen to the song and actually show you what I'm talking about. But yeah, there was a certain part of the beat I didn't really like. And yeah, I don't know. I just didn't. I don't really mess with the hook like that at all. Benny's verses were the only thing that to me that saved the song. But yeah, this is the only one that I had criticism for.
It's hard to put out a great project front to back without one song being.
Yeah, there's always that one where it's kind of like you're still gonna listen to it. Like I'm still gonna listen to it. Like I like the song, but if I had to skip, I might. You know what I mean? I might skip it.
At least one. I guess this is for you guys.
This is one skip. We talked about this too. This is the one skip. Like
it's just the one little like kind of bad feature you made.
But the verses were great though. So that's what saves it for me. The verses. But yeah, I guess we're going next.
It was still a great beat as well. Still great.
Yeah.
Good boy this thing.
Yeah, but we get into track 9. Track 9 was called "Trade It All."
Oh, that was one of my favorites on there.
Another one of my favorites. Yeah, it was a dope production as well from Hit Boy. What's it called? One of my favorite lines was in my position, take care of your daughters. No matter what they choose to do, they are aware what you taught them. So that goes out to all the dads. You got especially if you had kids, they're gonna be looking up to what you do. So whatever you do, make sure you raising your kids right, because they're gonna see what you're doing. If you're doing shit in the streets, they're gonna grow up just to be like you. So
you're definitely very aware.
You gotta take care of your own. Take care of your own.
Definitely gotta take care of your own.
How about you?
Yeah, this was one of the realest tracks on the album, hands down. He was talking about trading it all. If a man getting his brother back, his brother is Machine Gun Black, who passed in 2006 to a gunshot. So rest in peace to him. I believe he was rapping too. They said, so he's very much as part of Griselda, the team. They're all they got him on I believe on a tape if I'm not mistaken. So they hold up his name, hold hold up his name very high. And this track was pretty much about him. I know a lot of people could relate to someone they lost. We wanting to trade everything. If you were able to get the option to trade it all to get that person back. If people have someone close to them who they lost, so that's very relatable. A line too that he said. Well, I'll talk about this one first. I know he said, "I'll trade it all, give the cash back, the jewels in the car. If it make you feel like I'm different from y'all, um, come get the paintings off the wall. My girl's bins plus the one in the garage. Because to me, material shit is small when it come down to my dogs. So, like I said, it's like, man, you could take all this, man. Because I just want my family to be straight, man, and get my brother back. Like that was
Yeah,
real.
give you all the cash and all the problems to go with it. I just want, I just want your brother back. You just want your loved one back. During that time.
Yeah, especially
Yeah,
things
he
that
was.
going through that. So
Yeah, he was basically grieving through this song. I mean, it's definitely relatable to a lot of people that lost their loved ones. And just hearing that beat, you just feel like you just got like chill bumps. You just kind of wish you had that person back, and you just do anything if you wanted to trade it off for all that love and success you had.
yeah, the beat was great, good too. And he also said another line. He said, "On this road to success, and yes, it came at a cost. So don't confuse what you hear. I put these jewels in my ear because I wore the same pair of kicks to school for a year." I'm like, shit.
Oh,
I felt that
yeah,
one, man.
hey, I feel that one too. Like,
I know
hey, I
the
used to
white,
have
the
one
little,
kicks a year.
the little white Vans with the hole in the bottom. I wore those down there my whole like
Yeah,
junior year.
a good couple years. I remember those.
Hell yeah, I had, like no clothes on, mixing and matching with the same as that stuff, trying to make it look different. So I could relate, man. Finally having some money of your own. I want to put these
Right.
chains on. Let me put these new Jordans on, bro. It's like, man, yeah, I could relate to that.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody had one school year. We don't got
Facts,
that no
man.
more. Everybody's making money now.
Come on.
Good.
Yeah. Well, we can
Yeah.
get into the next track. Unless y'all
Yeah.
ready for the next track?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
This
next
one's
track.
back to
Track
back
number
deep
10.
track.
Track number 10. Thank God I Made It, featuring Queen. How you say it? Naija? Naija?
Queen
Niger?
Naja.
Queen
Queen
Naija?
Niger.
Yeah, she was on the chorus for that track. I thought it was a good track as well. One of the lines I was able to relate to was I was raised by a woman. Shout out to the single mothers who had to teach their teenage boys to use
The
rubbers.
Red Rubbers.
I can relate to that, not having my father in my life due to
Yeah.
situations. That's a long story, so I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, pretty much is my mom having to raise your kids on her own. She had to raise me and two other siblings. It was me, my brother, and sister. And then you gotta eventually gotta have that talk, especially with your boys when you have and it's only you. You don't have your father. You don't have the father to do it for him. So as a single woman, it's like what was my mom supposed to tell me? That's kind of an awkward situation as well as
She's
I don't
like,
want to.
dang, we gotta get a birds and the bees talk.
I was like, Mom, I already know where you going with this, man. I don't want to talk about it. Like,
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying.
I'll have my. If anything,
That-
I'll have my older brother talk to me. I don't need you to do. Thank you though.
yeah, yeah, I can relate to that too, man. Have grown up with my with a single mother, so it's like shout out to the single mothers too. Because you got to play. I know it's very hard to play that father role as well. Because like in reality, man, it's hard to play that role. Like in a perfect world, you're supposed to have both. To balance it out, to balance you out as a just as you grow up. But I know he said, "You made me the man I am today. I never told you." I know that's a big thing too. Sometimes we don't always, tell our moms, we love them every day or this and that. But uh, it's facts, man. Like if being raised by a single mother, they truly like mold you and raise you. You know what I mean? To be the best man you could possibly be. And I feel like being raised by a single mother too, as being guys, you know what I mean? Uh, might end up sometimes it benefits us in the future. How we treat a woman as we go through life too. You know what I mean? So
Woman.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean we slip up here and there, but but
Yeah. Nah, this is this is
care
one of
that
those crazy tracks though.
mom,
Yeah, I heard Benny the Butcher was crying when he wrote this in the studio with Hit Boy.
Yeah, Hit Boy said I guess him and Nipsey are the only two to shed some tears in the studio or writing these tracks. And he also said I guess like he just appreciated the vulnerability that they put into these records, you know what I mean? And I agree too, they put their heart and their soul into these records, especially something called Thank God I Made It. I think he was just reflecting, on everything that he went through, took a moment to reflect, count his blessings. He's talked about his mother, he talked about his brother, so putting a lot into this track, especially the beat too. I think overall he probably just felt it all, you know what I mean? Probably just got consumed by emotions recording this track.
Just all that emotion built up, just kind of just laying those lines down, just even when he said he looked in his nephew's eyes and he see my brother sometimes. You look away, it hurt so much. How the nigga died so young. He was worth so much. How he died so young, yeah, he was worth a lot. I know.
I wrote that line too. Yeah.
That was another line. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I see why he shed some tears writing this track because
that line itself just tells it all right there.
Yeah, like seeing your nephew, you know what I mean, seeing your brother and your nephew and wanting to like turn back something, be like,
it's
too much for him because he sees someone.
See something, he reminds me, just reminiscing and just think like, dang, you kind of have that same comparisons or same things or just like his brother.
Yeah, man, that was a deep track. Shout out Queen Naija too for the hook, for the chorus.
Yeah, she definitely had her thing on there too. Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Shit made me feel like I made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did her thing too. So hearing that made me want to look up see what her music is about too. So
yeah, she definitely popular in the R&B thing.
Yeah, I gotta check that out, man. But yeah, shout out Benny for that song too, man. Same thing, man. He showed a lot of realness, just honesty, vulnerability.
So that real shit.
Facts, man.
Yeah, we can get into track 11 though. Put them tears away and get into some more fire.
My fault. One more thing too. I think shout out to Hit Boy too, because I feel like to have people, people like Nip and Benny to, shed those tears in his too, like to have someone that you trust, you know what I mean? Like it shows, the type of person Hit Boy is too, you know what I mean? So I just want to put that out there too. Like, so shout out to Hit Boy for that, giving them that space to be able to,
not a lot of producers and
rappers to be able to, spit their heart out. That's commendable. So shout out to Hit Boy.
Yeah. Well, we got two more tracks left of this project, man. We're on track 11, and track 11 was a dope track with the features, and it was called War Paint, featuring West Side Gun and Conway the Machine. Zelda. Yeah. I know Brian was all jittery and happy. We saw the track list. West Side Gun on the chorus. Conway the Machine had a dope verse. I like the line. It was like, no emotions. I mastered pain with what we smoking. Rod made hustlers on my block, stars like Billy Ocean.
Yeah, I
thought it was a dope line. Just knowing, you got that, you got that shit. You gonna sell it. You gonna be, stars. Everyone's gonna come to you for that shit. You making money. You feel like you're a star like Billy Ocean.
Yeah, if you ain't a star like Billy Ocean with all that bread and
shout out everybody hates Chris. What's the girl's name again? The one that thought Billy Ocean created the moonwalk.
Tanya.
Tanya.
Doing a moonwalk. Yeah.
Right.
Everybody's Chris. Wow, classic. Watch every episode.
Shout out Chris Rock.
Yeah, this beat to me is top 5. This is one of the top 5 beats on this album. Like, I don't know, man. When I heard that, especially having these two on it, like it was just that feeling. Like it was just that good.
This is what their sound. This is what their sound.
This was their sound, 100%. So Hit Boy, man, he did his thing on this beat, and I felt like it was a timely record too, having it after a song called "Thank God I Made It," and then having the two guys, West Side Gun and Conway the Machine, like having them on the next track after that. Those are the two you made it with. My fault. That you made it with. I think it was a good placing them at that, and also kind of switching out that, all the emotions, and then giving us that.
Yeah, just giving out his deeper thoughts in the album, and then just transition it to the two artists he's rapping with now, collabing with.
Facts, man.
It just works out, but yeah, I know he probably feels they had great verses on here.
Yeah, that's true. It's not. It wouldn't be the same without a Griselda record. Like, you got to have at least one. You know what I mean? On all the albums, I feel like they got to have at least one with with all their names on it. So shout out to
he waited for track 11 to have everyone hear that. So
right.
the body, the track. Yeah. Who y'all think had the best verse on here? As far as Griselda on here, I think it was Benny.
I think Conway. I think Benny I think they both had good verses.
Yeah, both of them had good verses on this one. I mess with Conway heavy, so
can't really say who I prefer. I feel like they both equal. I thought they both were dope.
It's kind of like a tie. It's kind of hard to choose. Like,
it's just what you prefer. I was wrong with Benny.
Yeah.
I had to choose.
Conway was pretty good on her. He did his thing.
619 Vibes. Shout out to you. This album has an early 2000s Rockefeller.
Yeah, me and Brian we were talking
about that in the very beginning. Very beginning we were talking about how because he signed to Rock Nation. This was his first album under them, and he had Pain in the Ass, the one who did the outros and the intros back then for them. So it just gave it that Rock Nation vibe. Even some of the beats, you know what I mean. Mainly the intro track to me is what solidified this as a Rockefeller.
Definitely don't sound like the new age of hip hop. Tell you that.
No, I'm happy you didn't.
No old school vibes mixed with a little bit of new on the beach though.
Final track, man. This is one.
Well, we got one more track, man. And I think it's one of my favorites as well. We got one more track.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite
album. And that was called Legend. I thought that was a dope track to end it. I thought the hook was dope. I thought he was like, said, I'm gonna be a legend soon. Shit, I'm a legend now.
I'm a legend now. Like,
and that was dope because he said that, like, he feels like a legend now because what he means to his people, the people around him, the people in Buffalo, what he means to them. So man, you don't have to be a legend to the whole world, but like you're a legend to his people, that's how he feeling. I also thought a dope line he said on there was, put my hood in diamonds so you know how my block did it. Gun come with a Carfax so you know who I shot with it. I thought the wordplay was pretty dope with that.
It's something
grimy.
I thought the wordplay was cool with that, Show me the Carfax.
Show me, he's showing like, he really bust his gun, like back in really shooting them guns, like as far as Carfax.
Yeah. And also he said, ever since they said I'm going pro, they say I'm the next so and so. But you know how it go. Kobe got his 5th title and somehow still live in the shadow of Michael. But it's over. Give a nigga his credit. Am I wrong? I want my bouquet before when I can smell it. So it's like he's right. It's like, a lot of people do these comparisons. I'm not a big fan of comparisons because I feel like each person's their own artist. Like you said, each person. We don't walk in other people's shoes. You walk in your own.
Each player's their own player, like Kobe and Jordan.
Kobe's his own player at the end of the day.
They both called out their times.
Yeah, and he got 5 rings, and you're still like, bro, like what more did he have to do? You know what I mean? And I think also
ring like Brady, you gotta get that 7th ring.
7 rings. He's his own person.
Like, it's like, bro, what more do these guys got to do? Like, just giving the flowers.
Because that that's always the discussion who has more, and that's why with Brady winning his 7th now, that the whole topic, like, oh, is Brady the GOAT of all sports? Like, he has the 7 rings, blah blah blah. Is he better?
Yeah, come on, like, no, he did his thing, and he had to in his own lane.
Field, also
respect.
Then also goes back to all the and it also goes back to a lot of the a lot of the MCs we've been seeing pass away. A lot of them weren't really getting their flowers until a lot of people in general don't get their flowers until they pass away.
They die.
Yeah, and I
recently with Pop Smoke.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Nipsey Hussle too. Like, a lot of people didn't know about him until he passed away. So I appreciate this track because it's like, bro, I'm a legend now. Like, I'm a you know, I want to smell the roses, you know, before I'm gone. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give him his
Yeah,
flowers too, man. So shout out to Benny the Butcher, man. He's one of my favorite artists. So here's your flowers.
yeah.
I don't got any on
These
me.
are flowers.
You're a legend in the Pure Rap podcast book. You're a legend.
Yeah, you're a legend in my book, man. So I'll
Ain't
give
got strong enough for that to be cancer, mastering the dope. Before that, I had a bachelor's in coke. I'm like, I fight better when I'm back on the ropes.
it. I'm telling you, you know,
Like what? Like Ali back on the ropes? Come on, man.
yeah, and that's some facts, man. It's like I'm better when I'm like this. Like Kobe said the same thing too, man. Like Kobe said, like he's better when he got to take shots last minute. Like, bro, like you don't want me to take these last minute shots, bro, because I'm better. Like, don't
Yeah,
let me shoot when the clock is going down. Like, bro, I'm way better. And I
put that
think this
pressure on
album
him.
was perfect. You know, a perfect way to end it too, because
Yeah, dope concept to end it.
yeah, and like what I said about the intro, how I feel like it was like his stamp in the game. Like I feel like he was here now, and to end it with a song called Legend, talking about I'm a legend now.
Especially hearing this whole body of work
And
and like
hearing
you
this
don't put that
work
down.
made you really feel it. Like you're like, yeah, like it made you feel like he really is. He's really a legend. It really means what he said. Same thing goes with the whole Griselda team, man. Like, no, the whole work is admirable, but like at this point, like it's like the shit that they went through, and then being here now. So man, I give flowers to the whole entire team, bro, because I'm tired of seeing artists not get their flowers until it's too late. Also, so it's pretty.
People be sleeping too.
Yeah, people be sleeping, man. But
And
hey,
that's why I kind of like that we did this album to start off our album reviews, and we're not doing something basic like a Travis Scott album, or like everyone already pretty much heard, like millions of people
yeah,
already
yeah,
heard because they're
shit,
mainstream now, and you gotta give
yeah,
the underground artists that ain't getting the same buzz that just because they ain't as big as say someone like Travis Scott don't mean they better or equivalent. Doesn't mean they're
yeah,
not any good. So you got to give the people who ain't mainstream and ain't getting that buzz, give them some buzz because they're putting out work that should be getting buzz, but
yeah. It's
you know,
quality work, man. Is always gonna prevail, in my opinion. Like just the realness, everything that he's saying, bro. It's just crazy, bro. Like this was a much needed, especially for hip hop now. I mean, there's a lot of great artists, but it also goes back to what we're talking about albums, like taking albums seriously. I feel like this album was took very seriously. You know what I mean? So shout out to Benny for this album, man.
yeah,
As
you
some
know,
About the ratings.
it was a dope album for sure, man. Especially, I took a lot of time this past week listening to it when I've been exercising and shit. Because usually when I've been trying to lose, I've been losing weight lately, and I've been going for walks. Let my mind roam. I know we're gonna do this album review, so I pop in my headphones, go walk several miles, just bumping the whole project, front to back, and I thought it was for sure a great quality of work. But what I want to get into with what I was saying is the last discussion of the album review is what would you guys rate this album out of 10? And I'll let you start, Brian, or MCK, whoever you
Oh,
want to go.
honestly, I feel like this is arguably, you could argue that it's the best out of 2020. Um, you got Conway's album too. You got Freddie Gibbs, Alfredo. I know Royce the 5'9" dropped the album too. That was fire. You know, you I personally feel like you could argue about this being the top album.
electronic.
It's definitely top 5 out of 2020.
This is a dope
But
album. Hold on,
I
before you go, I just wanted to I wanted to mention this because what I was talking about, the mainstream and the underground night, that deserves the recognition. This album actually debuted at 27 on the Billboard Top 200 and only sold 19,000 units in its first week, which, to be honest, I'm not surprised by the numbers, but I feel like this was a great quality work that should have been more, should have debuted higher, should have had more units, but due to the fact of, it's not a mainstream artist like that, it's not gonna, do that. But
yeah.
I think it was a great quality work that should have been higher.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think
But I'll let you go back to what you're saying.
yeah, I think artists like this though, at the end of the day, man, I personally don't think they care about a whole lot of stuff about a lot of numbers. I mean, of course, if you see the numbers, it's great. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm just trying to get this music out. I'm trying to be heard. I'm trying to and look where they're at now. People are saying Griselda is like one of the top groups in hip hop, bro. Like at this point, like hip hop heads, like ones that know. Like if they're one of those groups that if you know, you know. You know what I mean?
Like strictly like hip hop, you know.
Like and like you said, like only rapper to thrive in the Tupac era. Like maybe he's just in a time where it's like, damn, maybe if he was back then, this album would have went crazy.
You know, he kind of spitting like what he grew up with, you know. So
Exactly. But yeah, I'll give this about a 9.5. I didn't give it a full 10 only because the Dom Kennedy record, the Over the Limit. That's the only reason I didn't give it a 10, just because of that.
Over the Limit.
Yeah, so I get about a solid 9.5 personally, because I love the production. I love the fact that Hit Boy catered, made some beats to cater to the features. Benny showed versatility as well, being able to have, arguably the best verses on those tracks too with the features. Holding his own, doing his thing. He showed a lot of realness, honesty, vulnerability. So yeah, man, I give this about a solid 9.5 for sure. Same thing, Hit Boy and Benny. Like, this is for both of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would go for like a 9 out of 10 on this one. I mean, just looking at the fact that Hit Boy production, it sits well for every artist that was on here. It goes from Rick Ross to Freddie Gibbs. And Dom Kennedy's was probably like my least favorite, moment of the album. It wasn't like really the best. But yeah, this album is very versatile. I mean, it goes from highs and lows. It goes from a deep standpoint, real good life, and really the street life, and then it goes from rags to riches at the end. Just making it successful. Saying like, look, I'm not a legend, but I'm a legend now.
Facts.
So,
right.
What about you, Caleb?
I'll give it 9.5.
9.5. All right. So on average we got it at 9.
Yeah, 9.
I give it 9 point. I give it 9.5. Yeah. If over the limit, I like Dom, but I know I feel what y'all saying about it. It obviously could have been better. I think if you just left that out and if it was an 11 track project, I could have given it a 10.
I like how concise the album was. I mean, it was just real short. It wasn't too long. Wasn't too short. It was real
perfect time. You know what I mean? I was able to digest this, this whole album. I think that Dom Kennedy would have been cool if it was like, a single, you know what I mean? Like, just like if they just dropped a track by itself and wasn't the album.
Before the album or something,
Yeah, before the album. I think that track would have been perfect for that. I just don't think that track was specifically, because it's a good track, I mean, it's cool, but I don't think it was the album.
It wasn't the Stewart on there.
Yeah. Probably that Hit Boy influence, let's get Dom Kennedy, like let's get the home.
You're on there to.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably how it was. Like, which is probably like, damn, like I did tell him I'd do this favor. Like, all right, like fine. Like, shout out Dom Kennedy though too, man. Like, I like Dom Kennedy. Like, I've been listening to him since high school, so like, that's no disrespect. I just don't think it was.
It just didn't fit real with the album itself. But I think we all did good. We all said it was about a 9. It was a good album to review.
Tom Petty tore his ACL a few years ago. Hey, so did I, man. I'm washed too, I guess.
Hey, after he dropped, was it Best after Bobby 2? He was like, whoa.
Kennedy hasn't really, I don't know. Yeah, I felt like his body.
He dropped that mixtape. What is that?
I think it was. Well, I think the last thing I liked by them was the Hit Boy and Dom Kennedy, the collab tape.
Half stuff, $500,000. Yeah,
that was fire. Like, that felt, that was that Dom Kennedy where it was like, yeah, that was crazy. But after that, I didn't really listen to him too much Dom Kennedy. But I used to listen to him heavy. But anyways, yeah. So we got 9.5 around the board.
Yeah, I mean, this is a dope project.
The best you could do if it's not 10, you know what I mean? It's hard to get that 10, like, so he could have had the 10 too.
Yeah. Could have been straight perfect, would have been bam.
Maybe Dom Kennedy was on the hook or something.
And I have one more question. Did you have anything else after this? Because I have one more question for you guys before we wrap this up. I just want to ask you guys, since this was our first album.
What's the question, man?
I mean, since this was our first album review, I just want to ask you guys, like, what was your process of reviewing the album? Because we're about to do more of these, you know what I mean? So this kind of gave us our first like taste of reviewing the album, you know what I mean? It felt different, because sometimes you listen to an album.
I pretty much
listen. Like I listen to this shit like heavy, like every day, damn near. Like I went from listening to a track like just to hear the beat from Hit Boy. All right, let me go back. Then I listen to each track like over. Like I'll listen to track one like damn near for like 5 different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Going
I
back
went
to
through each track.
dissect it.
I went through each track. Read through the lyrics as as I was listening to the track, and just trying to understand if there's something I didn't really catch on to. I'd see if Rap Genius had to explain what he was spitting in case I didn't catch
Rap
it.
Genius.
And then, I looked up the samples. I was letting y'all know. It's because there's a lot of sample tracks these days. You don't even realize it's sampled, but you actually look, it's actually sampled.
Yeah, shout out to you for that because I forgot to write that down.
Yes, I went and studied all that, see what Hit Boy used for the samples on the album. That's pretty much what I did for each track, and just try to get an understanding of each track, and then check out the production if it was sampled, and
Then I went fully through after that. Like, let me give it one last listen all the way through to see how it flows.
And this was a all Hit Boy produced album. When we get into different albums, there are gonna be different producers on each track. So I'm gonna be looking through which album had what producers on it, and then look into all that as well.
What about you, Don?
Yeah, I was just going through just every track, just listening through and trying to dissect it, as far as the beat, on each record, and a couple of the verses, couple of lines that just kind of shook out to me. And just playing that as a whole a few times and going back through each track, just seeing like, dang, what's my favorite beat on there? Or dang, what was that favorite line I had? And just kind of just do that, and just playing it back and forth, and it's great how this album is really short and it's not too long, so it's easier.
It wasn't one of those recent Chris Brown albums with like 40 tracks and shit, man.
Yeah, we're not.
Man, we're gonna be here for 3 hours.
Yeah, we're not trying to do nothing like a whole 2 hours and
That's too much.
try to do that album. So
make sure we don't pick a Chris Brown album that he recently dropped, because then he dropped like 2 recent ones with like 40 tracks and shit.
Yeah, that's too much. Quality.
That's a lot of filler. I don't know what that was on there. It's a lot of filler tracks. Man.
I think the running time was like only like 38 minutes too. Like it was very easy to listen to. Like you could like I was able to listen to it that amount of times because it was short, which I was like happy about.
I like short. I like some short, and I like some at least an hour long. You know, it really just depends. But
I feel like he did everything he could in these 12 tracks too. He gave us everything. He gave us his whole heart and soul through these. And I feel like also we were kind of reviewing it. It was also a review of Hit Boy as well, more than like because since it's produced entirely by him, so it's just as important
how the whole sound goes for the album.
Exactly. So it's very important.
Two people at the same time. We're kind of reviewing as an artist standpoint and as far as the production standpoint.
So we had to make sure we do both to give them both their flowers. You know what I mean?
Shout out to them both. Yeah, it was a great body of work.
Yeah, great body work. I recommend you guys to listen if you haven't listened.
Should be be talked about more for sure.
Yeah, and once you listen to the album, come back to this video. It's here now, so you could kind of see if you agree to a lot of things we said. Leave a comment on the replay. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure a lot of people haven't listened to this album. And just this is always here. You know what I mean? So when you do listen to the album, I know we had FGP earlier say he needs to go listen to the album now. So once you go listen to that, come back to this video, leave a comment. Let us how you feel about it.
See what we have to say about it.
Yeah, give us your rating. Give us all that, man. And shout out Benny the Butcher, man. Excited to see what more he has in store.
Shout out to the whole project. Shout out to Griselda. If you didn't get to catch this tonight, make sure you can always watch the replay, send it to your friends and all. You can catch it on Twitter. It's gonna be on YouTube, and then it's also gonna be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any other podcast platform. You can check us out on Twitter and Instagram, Pure Rap Podcast. The YouTube's Pure Rap Podcast. Subscribe to that. Leave a comment. Drop a like. We didn't debut them tonight because not all of us got it, but we got merch. We're gonna be rocking the new Pure Rap Podcast tees this Monday. Brian MCK was the one that was left out, so we didn't debut him tonight. But eventually we're gonna start a store for that. We're gonna start selling some tees, and we're gonna start selling some merch.
They said Tuesday. I'm like, bro, come on.
So we'll catch Monday night.
Got a little delayed, but yeah, we'll definitely show everyone.
Yeah, Brian was talking all that shit like, oh, my tea's gonna come first, blah blah blah, and
Oh,
look
yeah,
who's came first, motherfucker.
Yeah, hey man, we got that
Bitch.
California probably got to us a lot faster. You know, America's finest city.
Hey,
That's like, man. And you know why? Because we're in California, man. The snow is holding your shit back.
Yeah, it's no.
probably, man. The weather is like negative. It's like negative, man. We
That
got
that cold breeze is blowing in.
buffalo-
Hell, you can't even, Amazon ain't working with y'all right now.
Yeah, they're like,
Cold breeze is making workers not come in, so yeah, your shit ain't getting delivered.
It ain't getting delivered
Crazy
till it get cool.
hey, but man, hopefully we could try. We're trying to put a snippet out too on Instagram and Twitter. Try to get a hold of Benny the Butcher or Hit Boy. Like, you never
Tag
know.
him in that bitch.
Yeah, because honestly, like, bro, like, I hope they see it. You know what I mean?
Leave they comments on what we talking about them. Shit.
Like, we got the best people. Like, this is our first one. I already feel like we're down there better than it. You know what I mean?
We just want everybody to check it out. Hey, we want to be buzzed off on this. I want to see the feedback and criticism.
Call me the Roger Ebert of album reviews, man. That's what they're about to call me.
Shit.
This is
man. But
Rap podcast.
yeah, we're approaching the 90th minute, so we'll probably get off by then. We don't want to be on here too long. But yeah, thank you for everyone that tuned in. Thank you to thank you Benny the Butcher and Hit Boy for putting out a dope project. Thank you to everyone that's tuned in and it's going to tune in on the platforms that we're releasing it on. You can always watch the replay. Yeah, I want to thank you, Darneezy and MCK, for being on here with me tonight.
Yeah, man, this was fun, bro. I'm excited to
Yeah.
Wait, so who got next dibs? Was it me or Darnell, or was it your brother who was next?
Oh, I don't know. We rock paper precision. What we doing
yeah, just hit a hold on. Do the rock paper scissors right now. Get out the way
right now?
for the people.
All right.
Just one. This is winner takes all. They're right here.
1, 2, 3, go. It's hard to do because like my camera might be slower than his. And... yeah, I'll give it to Darnell. I'll give it to Darnell.
He forfeited. All right, for sure, man. All right, so let's just do it this way then. Yeah, so I did mine first. We get Darnell next, Caleb, and then after that, let's do for the fourth. Let's have our audience decide.
Yeah, we'll have an audience. Maybe we can do like a poll. We pick like four people's like recommendations, and then do a poll, and then we'll go from there or some shit.
Yeah. Do that. So all right, yeah, let's just keep that order. Keep it like that. So
yeah, let's see what
I'm excited to see the reviews. It's fun.
That'd be dope. So yeah, thank you for everyone tuning in. You can always check out the Pure Rap podcast. We're gonna be live episode 4 this Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific every Monday. We're gonna throw in album reviews when we get the chance to do it. It might be every Wednesday, it might not be every Wednesday. It can change up. It might be on a Saturday or a Friday. You never know. We'll figure that out though. Yeah, I want to thank you guys again. Thank everybody. I hope you all have a great night. Be safe, and looking forward to seeing you guys again on Monday.
Monday. Yes, sir.
See y'all.